one, hey, you were already lied to. This is a sales job. You are required to hit sales. You are required to hit sales numbers, or you're going to, receive corrective action, not be able to work here, etc., etc. Right? A lot of people think it's set in stone. It's not set in stone. If operation needs to change it, like when something's changed with the client or something like that, they will and have the power to change your schedule. It is sometimes good to have it in writing. Sometimes you can push back with the offer letter that we send you. Just as if you guys don't believe anything I've said in this video, as far as how the company is, I'm going to be releasing the reason I was terminated from the company, start to finish, with receipts. So you're going to see screenshots, text messages, everything involved in my employment. And you let me know if this is a place that you would like to work, or $3 to 4 years later. So make sure you keep that in the back of your mind. The only way you get a raise is if everyone on the account gets a raise. So not only you, your friend, your other friend, your other friend's friend, your mom's friend, right? Unless everyone gets a raise, you don't get a raise. It has nothing. What's going on, guys? Jared back with another epic video. Today, guys, we're going through the 10 things you should know basically applying, or maybe you've already applied to Foundever work at home. This is going to be specifically focused on work at home, not on site. If you guys would like me to do another video on site, I'll do more videos about the company as well, since I've been with them for almost right at 12 years. So definitely consider, let me know other videos you'd like to know. I'll do a lot of stuff. All it's going to be constructive. So anything that we talk about in this video is going to be constructive, right? This is going to be the feedback that I would give you, like if you were a friend, close family member, something like that. That being said, guys, this channel, I'll cover everything basically customer service related. It could be things regarding my employment with Foundever, or maybe you're not working for them, you're working for Concentric, Sutherland, Plus One, C3, all these other different companies. I'll be going over a lot of different customer service tips, tricks, things that you could do, how to de-escalate customers, how to get the position, doesn't matter of the company, how to move up in the company, basically my job eventually as a customer service manager, things like that. Also going over personal development, personal finance, and also consider subscribing for the YouTube algorithm, and also consider hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. So it really helps the channel a lot, especially with us being a newer channel, and we're going through trying to build a following. So I definitely appreciate that, guys. Let me know down below in the comments what other questions you have, or maybe something I don't cover here. I'm not going to cover everything, but these are the top 10 in my opinion that, yet again, if you were a close friend or family member, that I would want to know first. So let's go ahead and dive in with that being said. So the first one, right, we'll just start off with basically lying during the interview, right? I've complained about this. Several of my peers have complained about this. This sometimes can be account specific, so don't always take this. Just kind of go in the back of your mind, like if you're going to an interview or something like that, it could be what's going on. Usually in the past, they've lied about, like, I won't say the specific account. For the moment, we'll talk about it probably in other videos, but for now, I won't say the specific account. All right, we had a habit of this one account where recruiting would keep recruiting people, and they would tell them it's not a sales job. And the job was basically, it's service to sales, but it was tech support as well, too. So what happened is we would get these agents on. I've even done some of the training classes myself, because I was very knowledgeable and was on that particular account for over eight almost of the 12 years of my tenure with them. So that's what would happen a lot. We get them on board, they don't know about sales, they find out, we rip the band-aid off in training, especially if it's me that's teaching the class, and I let them know day one, hey, you were already lied to. This is a sales job. You are required to hit sales. You are required to hit sales numbers, or you're going to, receive corrective action, not be able to work here, etc., etc. So things like that. Another thing, schedules, guys. When they give you the schedules, that's, I would say, approximate, right? A lot of people think it's set in stone. It's not set in stone. If operation needs to change it, like when something's changed with the client or something like that, they will and have the power to change your schedule. It is sometimes good to have it in writing. Sometimes you can push back with the offer letter that we send you. Just a quick pro tip, if they try and throw you under the bus, but sometimes that might not be no good if needs from the client have shifted. And let's say we had you on day shift, but now we've got more of a flux calls on night shift, and we need you on night shift, right? So that's not going to help you, right, if we need the entire class, right, type of thing. But it's good to make sure you have that offer letter, because sometimes they will not give you the schedule that you signed up for. With the recruiter. The recruiter's just trying to get you on because they also get a bonus. They get a commission for hiring you. So keep that in the back of your mind. I always use the love like the saying that we have. They're promising them, like sweet little nothings, right? They're promising you, right, you're going to go to Disneyland. They're going to cure your cancer. I use these huge exaggerations because that's the crazy stuff some of these people promise you guys to try and get the job, just to kind of start out the gate. The next, depending on the account that you're getting hired on, right, for number 2, basically, it could be basically usually a lack of training, right? So a lot of these accounts usually don't have emulators, anything like that. What I mean by that, so we can get hands-on experience working with like the client's tools, the system, get practice, making changes to the customer's account, things like that we typically do during the role play sessions and things like that. You're typically only going to get this from really watching and live listening to calls with the customer agents, and some of the customer agents you're watching are doing the process wrong too. So you're learning wrong, so the trainer's having to call them out, the SMEs and the mentors are having to call them out for doing wrong stuff. Please don't do this, you'll get fired or wrote up, etc., etc. So things like that. So a lot of the experience that you're getting on, I won't say every campaign, but a good chunk of these campaigns, until you speak to your very first customer, that's the first time that you really get hands-on with some of these tools. That's yet again, this is not to deter you from applying or anything like that. I'm just making sure, yet again, you're aware of these things. So keep in mind, right, this is just to give you a heads up, essentially. 3, we kind of go back to like the start of you being a new hire, right? It would be more of like the you hear say like OCP, OJT, depending on that with Sykes and Cytel Legacy, Cytel Manager. Right, you may hear different acronyms thrown around like OJT or OCP. Basically, right, that's just your first time taking calls. Usually, depending on the campaign, that process could be anywhere from a week to maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on the campaign. Usually, 2 weeks is standard for most accounts. That right, you're taking calls for maybe like 6 hours of the day for the most part, right? And we're pulling you in for like an hour, the other 2 hours. Start 1 hour at the start of the shift, 1 hour at the end of the shift. To give you feedback and help on the calls and things like that. So kind of keep that in mind. And during that process too, right, the support that I'm going back to the support portion, right, some of them are required to take phone calls. They've changed up, which to me is so stupid. On some of these accounts, they have the people that are answering your questions as a new hire, they have them on the phone. They, for whatever reason, supposedly financial reasons is what they've told us, they can't afford to have them answering your questions. So sometimes, some days when you're going and it may be 10 to 15 minutes, that's why as 1 or 2 people that's normally answering your questions throughout the day, they have to take phone calls today because they have to get their phone time in instead of helping you. So I just want to make sure I give you guys that heads up. So if you notice so-and-so's missing from chat today or missing for a few hours, they're not ignoring you. They're probably just on the phone. So just kind of give you a heads up. I don't know why the trainers don't do a better job communicating or articulating that to the to you as the new hire, to you as the employee, but for whatever reason they don't communicate that, and you just figure that out by trying to get help and no one responding back, or it taking god awful forever. Or they don't really like you having multiple jobs, right? So if you have, let's say, 2 jobs, maybe you get the job while you're with us or before you come to us, stuff like that. They're not very accommodating when it comes to making schedule adjustments, stuff like that. Usually they will if you're like a high performer or something like that, but typically we don't do anything like, especially like if you're a new hire, we're more of like, hey, we need to figure out, hey, we need this person to quit their job, or that we need them to quit us. So that's usually the type of mindset that is. So if you have that, or you're going in mind getting this job and doing that, I wouldn't convey that information, right, unless you're directly asked. I'm not saying lying. So if you directly ask, obviously tell them. I'm not saying lying or whatsoever. But just so you're aware, right, if you have a job or you're planning on getting 2 jobs, for specifically Foundever, we frown on this. It's always been frowned upon. So just kind of keep that in mind, especially working remotely, right? They're afraid that you're going to be doing, lollygagging with us and doing something for us, or just getting a paycheck, because we have had a lot of people do that. So to some extent, I see where they're coming from, because I've had agents that sit there, will get a paycheck, they'll clock in, clock out, and not take a single phone call, and yet we paid them for could be 8 hours, 80 hours, 40 hours. I've seen it all at this point. So that's where they're coming from on that point, is my assumption, because we do have a lot of people that will steal money from the company, and that's just kind of burnt the bridge for everyone, would be my pre-assumption. So number 5, guys. So number 5, basically, they never do anything for work at home. I've mentioned this. We did at one point, just for disclaimer, right? We did this at one point when my brother worked with us. My brother was actually the person in charge for this at work at home, but they quit doing stuff for work at home people. They don't do anything at work at home. So what I mean by that is, like, so for example, out of my 12 years with the company, 5 of those years I was on site. So quarterly, or when the client came, we would have these events, right? You'd go out, get cake, cookie, candies, ice cream, you name it, we did it. We had trunk or treat, where we would decorate like the trunk of our vehicles for Halloween. We would decorate the rows for Valentine's, those type of holidays and things like that we would decorate the inside of the on-site. We don't do anything virtual. You're not getting off the phones. We don't get off the phones to watch a movie, nothing like that, just to kind of chill and talk. Nothing like be on site where you got the smoke dock or these events or stuff like that you'll be able to do and chill and get paid and kind of relax, enjoy all the hard work that you've been doing for the company, the client, and all that stuff. They don't do anything like that. I voiced concerns. Everyone else has voiced concerns. They just don't seem to care. They don't really, you can tell by social media, if you don't want to take my word for it, go to their social media, for Foundever and go through and look, and you don't see nothing about work from home. Let's see what work at home. Nothing whatsoever. It's all about this site, this site, nothing for work at home. And that's what, you know why? Because they do nothing for us. They never have, and they never will. So if you're looking for, you know, the fun, enjoyable days, they're not coming, guys. I've tried and fought. I no longer work there, so. The next thing is, this may not be a deal breaker, but I thought I'd still bring it up. We don't have like flex schedules. Other companies, we just really suck, especially when it comes to like workforce management. As far as, well, that and just finances, that seems to be our whole issue, is finances. With a company that's worth $7 billion, they suck with finances. Someone's got to explain the math to me, because apparently my math is mathing wrong, right? You got $7 billion, but we don't know. We just can't figure it. You know, we can't figure this out, and the other stuff that I mentioned too. So someone needs to explain that to me. Comment down below. But right, so what I mean by flex schedules, if you're not familiar, or maybe you're new to customer service. So what this is you as the agent would get to pick your schedule. So what it is, you'll have a workforce management tool that'll show the available schedules, the hours that you can work, the days that you can work, and you can go through and literally pick your schedule for like every week. Some of these other companies will allow you to do that. Sitel, Legacy Sitel, so for Foundever doesn't do that. We'll see if they change in the future. I highly doubt it, because they just don't know how to manage that properly. And with our attrition and with people just not coming to work, we struggle with people coming to work due to the toxic work culture, which we'll get to that here in a little bit, so I don't want to get too off on a tangent. So just keep that in mind. So if you're looking, well, hey, I can pick my schedule, you can't. The only way you can pick your schedule is when we have the shift bid come up, and that's going to be based on your attendance and your performance. And that just depends when we have it. Sometimes, guys, we only have those like 6 months to a year. So if we just had that when you got hired, you're not going to go through it again until we have the next one. So you're going to be on this schedule for quite a while, and you can still talk to your coach, right? You can talk to, you know, whoever's over you, and they can go through and see if we can get you something different. So like if you're in school or something like that, please let them know, and they'll usually pretty good work with you. At least that's one good note, right? If you're in college, or giving you like a school schedule or something like that, they will require, of course, proof. So you will have to provide that. Keep that in mind. But I figured just to kind of give you a heads up on the scheduling portion, just a heads up there. Oh, another one before I forget. Sometimes we will do mandatory overtime, so you'll be forced to work mandatory overtime, or you're getting corrective acts as occurrence, things like that, or termination, right, depending on your overall, you know, attendance performance prior to us doing mandatory overtime. Usually it's because, yet again, we're firing too many people, we can't keep the seats, or like an event like COVID or something like that's come up, so we need the urgent of all these extra people on the phone. Foundever itself, guys, is very performance focused, so it's very, so used to be in the day back, right, because yet again, Legacy Sitel, so it used to be, right, we would have at least 3 months to work with you as the, let's say you're brand new, let's say you've never done customer service before, right? I'm just going to make it extremely simple for everybody. Let's say you've never done customer service, this is your first job, you're literally 18, applying, first job, no customer service, no nothing, right? Well, it doesn't matter, because what you're gonna get treated the same as a veteran of myself that's done customer service for 12 years, right? That's coming to apply or something like that. And you're not gonna have like we used to have 3 months to work with you to get you to perform it. They're expecting you to come out basically performing from OCP. So when when my peers or my previous peers, right, they're having conversations, they're talking about performance. Very important that you get performing fast, because right, that's going to start the corrective action process and things like that. They're very performance driven, so it's very important that you're not, you know, ox jumping, call avoiding, you know, you're not sitting ACW, your phone calls aren't long, you're sailing if you're supposed to, you're hitting the call flow, you're hitting, right, you're passing, you know, your customer service evaluation, stuff like that, right, so things like that. So it's very performance driven, so it's very, right, it's very involved, right? You're doing a lot of work, long story short. I'll go through you guys. If you guys don't believe anything I've said in this video, as far as how the company is, I'm going to be releasing the reason I was terminated from the company, start to finish, with receipts. So you're going to see screenshots, text messages, everything involved in my employment, and you let me know if this is a place that you would like to work, or if you work there currently, how it makes you feel about the company, seeing how they've treated me. Someone that's been there for 12 years, I've done everything they've needed. I've been woken up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, especially back when COVID happened, and moved an account over to help with the company, and all of the stuff that I've gone to help launch projects, do training stuff, way stuff that's out of my initial job description just because of my tenure, skills, and knowledge. But when it comes time with, hey, when I've been wrongfully terminated, I can't get an email back or a phone call. We'll discuss that tomorrow, so if you think that I'm lying or you don't believe the information, check out tomorrow's video. Trust me, you'll be singing a different tune once you watch that. So for number 9, guys, so this one, right, you have to wait 6 months in order to transfer campaigns. But to do that, right, you have to have perfect attendance. So your attendance has to be good. You can't be on any corrective actions for attendance. You can't be any corrective actions for performance or conduct, anything like that. you have to be in good standing, and you have to be hitting all of your KPIs. So all of your metrics, you have sales, handle time, license to credit, whatever it may be, customer satisfaction, NPS, first call resolution, whatever metrics your particular campaign has, you have to be hitting those in order to be able to transfer in 6 months. And it's not even a guarantee. We have to have an opening for you to be able to apply. So it's not like you hit 6 months, your stats are good, your attendance good, send me somewhere else. This account is trash. That's not going to happen, guys. If we don't have a spot for you, they're not going to let you apply. And if the opposite's true, right? If your stats are trash, your attendance is trash, they're not putting you over there. If anything, they're trying to put you out the door, right? So please keep that in mind. I've talked to a few people that's in DMs that hit me up about that, but hopefully that helps articulate that a little better. If not, comment down below. I'm welcome to answer any other questions you guys have. The last one, to me, I left this one for last because it's one of the biggest ones of all, probably to me, is we don't give yearly raises, guys. Once you hit the cap for the account, there's no more raises. So let's say, like when you're hired in, depending on the account, some of these accounts start at $13 an hour for work at home, and some of them go up to like anywhere from 13 to 17, depending on what you're doing. Like for the licensed stuff that I was doing, like because I did insurance as well too, some of that will go like 17 to 19 once you get your license and things like that. So kind of keep that in mind. But once you hit that, guys, once you cap out, let's say the $19, the $15, you're not getting any raises. So when it comes a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you're still making the same $15 3 to 4 years later. So make sure you keep that in the back of your mind. The only way you get a raise is if everyone on the account gets a raise. So not only you, your friend, your other friend, your other friend's friend, your mom's friend, right? Unless everyone gets a raise, you don't get a raise. It has nothing to do with your performance. You could be doing the best job. You could be top dog for the whole 4 years, like someone like me. You're not getting a raise, guys. I went without a raise for what, 6? It was like 6. It was about 6 years, 6 or 7-ish years. So it's very common for that to be. It's the same for us managers. We don't get yearly raises either. So don't like, oh Jeremy, you managers are, you guys are making bank. The same as for us guys. We get sit on a salary, and that salary is it. So just hopefully that kind of opens up. Let me know what other videos you guys would like me to make around Foundever. Like I said, I want this video to be constructive. Other videos I'm going to be constructive. I'm going to go over their policies, procedures, things like that. Let me know what other things you would like if you are an employee there. Maybe something you're struggling with, or maybe things you guys would like someone they would like to talk that can be open about it, because there's only so much, right, actively in the role that your coach or manager can talk to you about without kind of crossing the so-so line, if that makes sense. But that'll do it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys' love, support. Remember to make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. And I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.